This podcast is a Sepulveda Sanchez Law production.
In this episode of Beyond the Bar, I brought on my good friend, Jay Jones, who is the president and CEO of AlwaysON PR. AlwaysON PR is a boutique intellectual, entertainment, talent, and public relations firm with a focus on media exposure through branding and marketing.
Jay Jones is a TV industry veteran.
With decades of leadership in senior management, show development, and is a proud Syracuse University Newhouse graduate. He has booked thousands of guests in national, regional, local, and international media outlets throughout the world. Jay Jones has been nominated as Executive Producer of the Year, worked with celebrity talk show hosts such as Steve Harvey, Dr. Phil, Geraldo Rivera,
Montell Williams,
Tyra Banks, and Russell Simmons. Jay Jones is based in New York City on the Upper West Side. I'm Gabriel Sepulveda Sanchez, CEO and founder of Sepulveda Sanchez Law,
an award-winning catastrophic injury plaintiffs law firm.
Sepulveda Sanchez Law has earned a spot on the Inc. 5000 list as one of the fastest growing law firms in the nation.
In each episode of the podcast,
I selectively choose market leaders, entrepreneurs, and self-development experts to share their insights on how to become a better lawyer, business owner, and person. This is Beyond the Bar. Enjoy the show. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
So we got Jay Jones on right now, my good friend and business associate from New York, man, and it's been a blessing to have met you. You just changed the game with my my experience in New York City and my ability to get my brand out there in the media. So I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for a while, and I'm just really grateful for you to be on, man.
You know, I got two quick stories. The first story is celebrating your birthday.
Okay.
That was phenomenal, right? Great time, fabulous place, A-list, everything top tier. Had the best time. You know? So happy birthday, many more. And then the other great story is meeting your dad. So we're great friends. We're alumni. We've meshed. I don't know how you found me as an agent and a publicist for AlwaysON, but you know, we met at this baseball field in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
And these guys have phenomenal talent.
Oh, dude.
And it was like in this hidden field and they was just smashing it. I really thought I was, you know,
that was an amazing experience, man.
El Papi.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. Yeah. Well, I remember my good friend Melvin Mercedes, he used to play for the Oakland A's organization. They were doing their little like spring training before spring training at those baseball parks in Brooklyn. And all those guys that are playing, they were pro players, ex-pro players, or guys that are in the minor league. So you're watching like world-class baseball in a park in Brooklyn. And then remember they had the Dominican food outside, and people were watching on the porches. And that's the cool thing about New York. And most people that know me, they know I love that city, and that's why I'm there so much. But it's just like it was just like the culture, man. Like, where can you just go watch a pickup baseball game without going to a baseball game?
I mean, seriously, for all those who are out there, it really was electrifying. And that brings us to the point of PR, right? Yeah. Because I try to tell people all the time, and I know you got a list of questions for me, and I'll do it. But no, it's cool. But you want to sizzle.
Yeah.
You want to have demand. And you don't want to be in a box. And that's what I think are some of the essentials to blowing it up, if I may use that term, or being lit in the business world. Because when you take those young men in that baseball game, we didn't know, like in the back of Brooklyn somewhere, there were these amazing talents. And that's how it happens as we merge. Like right now, as we were talking earlier, we were saying, you have demand. So if I called up the contacts we have, and I love sharing the contacts. I mean, I feel like I'm different in the PR agent world where the contacts could be shared. But if I call, let's say, Law and Crime or Court TV and say, Gabe, I call you Gabe when I'm talking to producer. It's a fast lingo, right? So I'm a fast lingo talker. So I'm not like Gabe Sepulveda Sanchez. I'm like, hey, Gabe's avail. What's the date? He's going to be in the city. Can you hook him up? I just found out he's going to be there Tuesday, but he doesn't want, 6 a.m. Yeah. He needs prime time hits.
You need time to recover from the hangover a little bit.
You need time from 40-40. But the deal is, fortunately, we've got the sizzle. You've become dependable. You got the look. You're polished. You're poised. So to call, 7, 8 out of 10 is let's do it.
That's awesome.
Especially when you could be in studio, and that's what's happening. That's why I'm here in Los Angeles now in your office, which I must say is very, very
Thank
nice.
you, brother. Thank you. You know where I came from,
Well, we've had an instant bond. You know, it's kind of like, for those of us out there, I just got to shout out the Q's. We got that kind of orange bond.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about the football team. I don't know about the baseball team or basketball team. But listen, it's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. But we've always had that bond. And you actually taught me some things, because I don't know if I should mention this. There's another story I have. You went to Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And ever since you told me about Tony Robbins, breaking the ceiling, becoming a better business person, being focused, I tried to pick some of that up from me, so that when I talk to you or others, or just when you're getting the message out about branding and marketing, a lot of that comes from energy. A lot of that comes from focus. A lot of that comes from your passion. Passion is the key now. It used to be, make sure he's energized, make sure his content, make sure he's sitting up top, make sure he's sitting straight, posture's big. But now it's the double P's. And not the double P's you're talking about after midnight, but the double P's that we mean when we mean passion and posture, which you have. So,
awesome, man.
Touche to that.
Man. I appreciate that. One of the things that came, first of all, the Syracuse thing, it is so true that Syracuse, there's a bond that we have with our alumni there. I mean, it's just a beautiful campus, and it was cold. And I always tell people, going to Syracuse University was the best thing I've done for my life. One of the best things I've chose. A lot of my friends are out here in LA, stuck around in LA. And when I made that move across the country and kind of experiencing that cold weather, and like that toughens you up. You're over there, you got 6 months out of the year with overcast. It gets, if it's a 35-degree day, could be a good day. But the bonds you make with the friends and the memories going to the bars and watching Syracuse basketball and just having fun, man. It was such a good time to grow up, being 21 years old. When I think I was 22, 23, got out when I was 25. I mean, those things were just, I made friends for life there.
Did you go to law there?
But I went to law school there.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to law school there. Yeah. So law school was, because it was like 3 more years of undergrad for me.
Wow.
I went to Cal State Northridge as an undergrad, and it was a commuter school. So I had fun there. I joined a fraternity, but when I went to Syracuse, it was...
I didn't know you were in a frat.
Oh, yeah. I was a fraternity, yeah.
Okay. Well, touche to that. That's a good thing.
So when I went to Syracuse, it was a whole nother culture. It was a university where people lived there, and people were in the library all night. It was just a good time, man. And just, I got friends all over the country now. Just because went to Syracuse. I would have stood in LA like some of my friends. I would have been over here staying, being comfortable. All that stuff that ain't good for you, in my opinion. But
I have to say, if you do have the opportunity to move around, like you say, you broke out of LA, it gives you a little taste of everything. Yeah. Shout out to Bird Library. What library were you in?
It was Bird, man. I used to go study as an undergrad. I was the law student that I was in, I don't want to be around law students. I want to be around lawyers. I would go study at Bird. I was the grad student at the undergrad. Man, I had a good time. It was fun.
I stayed in Newhouse. I just lived and dreamed and stayed in Newhouse.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It's that passion, right? You had it as not to get into age, but you had it as a young man, and you still have it. So that's what I tell people as much as I can. The most important things when you're getting into the show business is keep an Excel. Know where you're putting your finances, your time. Everything should be on Excel like you've done. But don't get yourself put in a box.
Yeah.
Because like a young man like you can talk about anything because you have the experiences. So sure, law is your grind. So of course you want to promote your firm. And that's what we're going to do first and foremost and be focused on. But if the opportunity comes up that, you like to golf or maybe you like to fish or travel, I'm telling you, I get a call, they be like, listen, I need someone who's passionate, because the term is passion. I need someone who's passionate about, entrepreneurship. I mean, like, yo, Gabe, you available? The problem with you, Gabe.
Tell me, I know.
Well, it's not a problem. It's a great thing financially. One, it's hard to catch you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to stay up. I'm in New York. I'm like, okay, Gabe's going to be available probably around midnight. Let me like set an alarm on my phone. I'm like setting 10 alarms. I'm like, yo, Gabe, you available?
That's the best time to get me, man.
It is. It's like
late at night, man. Late at night. Late at night's the best time to get me, man.
Know your audience, right? So I know you. So I'm like, okay, I'll stay up to 3. I'll catch you at midnight. But when you tell somebody, and as you break many, many, many more ceilings, which you've done, because you're going to hear me say this, know your audience. So when you're talking on a national network, a Fox, CNN, a Law and Court, a Court Crime, Court TV, excuse me, you're going to know that audience is different from when you might be on a Fox 5 DC. I tried to, by the way, I tried to get you tonight. I was trying to get you tonight at 7:45 to talk about Alex Jones.
We're doing all
just
this
for
tonight.
the record. Just for the record.
You know, I want to ask you something. So you said we're sizzling. What is that? What was that? What do you mean by we're sizzling? I want to. What are you trying to touch out with that?
When I say you're sizzling, not only in the terms of like trying to keep it hot, like trying to be hip. Yeah. Because I try to be hip, because we're a trend-setting business. So when I say you're sizzling, that means if you're available, plus the content equals a home run segment. I haven't seen you flop.
Yeah.
So you're sizzling, right? Yeah. You step up to the plate. I call you A-Rod, right? We went to a Yankees game. That's another story we had.
You pumping my ego up, baby. I love it.
We went to another. Okay, I got a great story. So we went to a Yankee game, and I'm telling you, I don't know. I thought you were A-Rod. But that's the point. You got that. It's energy. Yeah. Energy, I'm like, energy, sizzle, fire. It just comes from the heart. So what I try to do is bring you to that level. Like, okay, you come to me, Jay, we talk business, no problem, but I have my demands. Yeah. We want to get you on, we want to get my brand out. Matter of fact, you owe me a hat. I gave you a hat back because you was cold in New York. You want to get your brand out. You want to break ceilings. You want to get your numbers up. You should. Yeah. You want to get people to watch. If you put a plus sign between those 4 or 5 things, that's going to equal a sizzle. You're going to pop. You're going to slide. You're going to glide. You're going to flow. And that's what I can't. It's not that that's not what I can't teach, but you can't always teach it, right? You got to have a little bit of baptism by fire because ultimately you have to find out what works for you, what makes you tick. Because I'm going to always say, be on time. Yeah. Dress up.
Put the rollie on.
Oh, yeah. Put the rollie in the air, waving from side to side, no doubt about it. Yeah. I'm even like, if you get into a jam, first thing I'm not only asking you, okay, I'm like, where's the rollie? You got the rollie? But all those things.
Did you get enough sleep, Gabe? I know you were at those rooftops last night. Hey, when I'm doing those studio hits in New York, I learned quickly, like, if I'm going to go to New York and go in the studio, I need to make this at 10 a.m. early, like the earliest. I'm not going in no 9 o'clock hit. Yeah, man. So I've learned my you know me now. Hey, Gabe's in town. Yeah, give him a 12 o'clock.
Give him midday. Yeah. Give him 3 to 5. Yeah. But don't give him 3 to 5. Give him 3 to 4.
Yeah, my staff, they've been to New York with me too, man. They know, we're going to have a good time. We're going to get a lot of work done. We're going to have a good time out there.
But going back to the sizzle, now we can say, when they say to you, and I know my girl's going to be listening, Alicia, one of the producers, who I'm on a Zoom call tomorrow, who your
From
name...
Law and Crime?
Yeah,
oh, okay. She's cool.
and who your name is already on the platter for the first bullet point of the conversation, so you better get to New York or ready. At least light it up
2 weeks, I'm out there. 2 weeks. Two weeks.
So we don't even have to say he can't do the 3 hours. He can just do an hour. Because an hour is a long time, So the thing is, so that's all that. If you take the mold, I mean, wouldn't you call it sizzle? You probably have a different term. You might call it fire. You might call it lit. You might call it fantastic.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Jay. Like, I mean, what is it when you say, I understand what you mean by sizzle, but like, what do they want? Like, what do these networks, when they're looking for a lawyer to put on their network, with that long crime, Court TV, MSNBC, CNN, whatever.
KTL. I mean, we had you on KNX, right?
That was a good one too. Like, what is it in we can start off with me, but what is it that, why do they want me, or what are they looking for? What is it that they want in someone that shows up on TV, on our network? What is it that they're looking for, aside from any other lawyer?
Well, I could have gotten you on today, probably. I think what they're looking for is dependability. When it comes down to the basics, they're looking for dependability, someone with a good shot, someone who looks minus their age, and someone who will deliver and engage. The big word is that E word, engage. Because it's like, hey, Gabe, hey, Jay, I got 2 stories about Gabe. I know his dad, we went to a Yankee game, and we went to this Latin concert in the Barclays. Yeah. That's engagement, right?
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, exactly. So they're looking for that because ultimately, like our crew here, shout out to your crew. They're doing a fantastic job. Yeah. We got to know the audience. Yeah. And what all people have to do is work on broadening their audience. You probably have, let's say, just for shits and giggles, you probably have the audience between 29 and 41 women, right? You got that on lock. You're like,
man, I've been too busy working, man, making this money. I ain't even thinking. I'm not.
Now we need the audience from 21 to 65, men and women. And that's why it's good that you do other things. Because ultimately, I don't take the training wheels off, to tell the truth. I just really help polish your driving ability. So instead of you just driving up and down any freeway, 405 or 95 or crossing the GW or going up to North Bay, I now put you on the track, the Porsche track, where you can rock out at 220 through the curves, okay? Or with your Aston Martin or your. That's what we do. We polish. We get the poise going so that if you are running late, let's say, or you might be sleepy, or you might be tired, you still got that kind of groove that you can still deliver that hour of content that's for real, and we didn't quote unquote wing it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember when I first started out doing some media stuff, like was 2019, and you get better. At first, you're uptight, you're clammed up, and it just you're overhead. You're editing yourself. You used to tell me like quit editing yourself.
Right,
just talking. Just they ask you a question and you're like, man, this question's dumb. Just say what you want to say. You don't have to engage. You can just ignore what the host. And sometimes that happens. They'll ask me some BS question, and I'm like, this don't even make sense. So let me just talk about what I want to talk about. And when you take over,
how many times you think you've been on air?
And geez, maybe at least like 50, I think. No, maybe around there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's always on.
Yeah. You get better at it. But I think the most powerful, what's crazy, man? And that Johnny Depp segment.
That was a good segment. Yeah.
Dude, as soon as I knew it was a big trial, a big case people were watching. But when I went in the New York studio and I did that segment on Court TV, it was Long Crime. I had about 6 people text me from around the country. I had one of my lawyer friends in DC, New York, Chicago. They were like, "Hey, Gabe, I saw you on Court TV," and I was like, "Wow!" Like I came on there just to say I'm gonna get some work done in New York, do some marketing, but the magnitude of that trial and how many people were watching and reached out to me, it was crazy. I was like, wow. And then I realized there's like 2 million people like watching the live stream. So I think what I've realized with PR and media spots, the biggest takeaway I've learned is that it's not one of those things that's gonna get you, hey, I'm on this news segment, all these clients are coming to me now. But it establishes you as a thought leader, and it gives you brand recognition and credibility. If you're good enough for a network for you to speak on, you're going to be good enough for this client. I've had clients brag about me and say, "Hey, yeah, my lawyer's on TV, blah blah blah." So
anything negative?
No, man. I haven't had any negative. Nothing negative with doing media spots. No, I think it's been good.
That's a good thing because sometimes you got to be ready for that punch to the jaw.
I don't even care, man. I'm too busy working. I don't look at what people are commenting on. I've been doing these things with social media. We've been doing little news whatever's a hot topic in the news. We'll do our own little spot on it in the office. And I've been noticing there's some people making comments about it. I'm like, dude, it's just funny to me. I'm like, dude, do you have time to, like, who has time to be like, I'm giving you information and you're over here making comments about what I'm giving out. It's just, I'm like, whatever, man. I think it's funny, but it's kind of like, I feel bad. I'm like, I'm too busy to be engaging on debates on Instagram. Like, go to work, man. Like, you guys,
I tell people,
man.
Don't engage.
Yeah, I don't engage in
on social media.
You know, it's funny, and I'm we did a segment on gun. One of the gun laws passed, or one of the gun control acts passed in Texas, where they're trying to have kids have clear backpacks for school.
Oh, okay.
So they want to have clear backpacks for children in school in Texas, so they can search and see if there's any weapons.
Wow!
I just made a little segment on that. And everyone's on, dude, so many people are on social media like, oh, blah, blah, that you're giving up our rights and you're about this and this is all this. I'm like, dude, I'm liberal. I'm a gun owner. I got 9
you're
guns.
not liberal.
I'm a conservative liberal. People don't understand. I'm a hunter and I love guns. I have like 8 guns in my house. But I'm a Democrat, and I'm proud to be a Democrat. But it's like I'm a moderate Democrat.
Yeah, you're very moderate.
So people are like, "Oh, okay."
I hope your father's not listening.
But going back to media, so I want to start off with, we were both Syracuse grads. How did you get into media? From Syracuse? Newhouse is one of the best programs at Syracuse. Like, how do you start? How did you get to this point where you were working with lawyers and doctors to get them on TV?
Well, that. It's a long but short story. I came out of the Q's. And yeah. And I got it, and I got hooked up with my man Geraldo Rivera. I call him my name. I call him El Jefe. I know it's crazy. Don't tweet me. I know, but he's my father. He's my brother. He's everything.
Is he cool? I remember watching him as a little kid.
I came out of Q's. Well, he gave a speech at Newhouse, and I don't know. I connected with him. I was like, "You're phenomenal." I was like, "You're like a kid. You're like, I'm in love with you. You're phenomenal." Yeah. But ultimately, he was like, "Yeah, call my office." And of course, they blew me off. But ultimately, I came out of Syracuse. I was in an organization called NABJ, Journalist Organization. I went down to Baltimore. I hooked up. I did an internship with Governor Cuomo. Then I went to a station in New York called PIX, Pix 11 now. And for some reason there was a picket line going on, and I was on the union line as a kid, like 25 years old. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even spell picket line. Yeah. And then GR came in after lunch. He was like, "What the hell? Who are you and why are you on this line?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Come to my office." I was like, "I saw you in Syracuse." He was like, "Whatever, come to my office." And he hired me, and he was doing Al Capone. Okay, zip past 3 decades of being in the business.
Wow. That's cool.
I get a call from one of the people I did a show, a segment on. He was an attorney in San Diego, Dan Gillian. He goes, "I want to be the next Lawyer Allred. You want to do my PR?" Okay. And I say, yes, put news on hold. But ultimately, that's how I got hooked up in PR. And then I figured out this was in my pores. Yeah. Like, kind of like agent and publicist and people person and hip and cool and whatever it takes. It's kind of crazy because I don't want to be like I love myself, but it was kind of like I was able to get along with people. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just started happening, and a couple of news directors said to me, "It's like, your people are always on. What's the name of your business?" I was like, "Oh." And they was like, "You should name it Always On." And that's the story of how I started. And then there were all these trials, Trayvon Martin and a couple of other like stab, kill trials. And the media didn't have like a lot of legal analysts. To this day, they had Areva Martin and some people you might have seen, but we just blew it up. And I always tell people, listen, this is business. Yeah. And there's an infinite amount of positions. So be ready to step over people so that we can be on. It's business. Yeah. Don't let that personal stuff hold you back. Yeah. And then, people such as yourself came to me and we were all starting out, but the relationships were there. And you, as you know, you were like, a beast. Yeah. So when I told you to step on people, you were like, "No problem, I got you." Man, but it's not rude. It's the business, because what's going to happen is there's always a fresh face. Yep. Sure. And a fresh face to step on us. Yep. So as we like sword fighting through the life of show business and trying to stay on, that's why I tell people, work your IGs, work your social media, be engaging. You know, I don't even, I would prefer all the producers come through me as a conduit. We go through you, to Brooker, but we don't care because ultimately, and this is the truth, and I tell it to my mom, and I tell it to my kid, we want you, and that's the first question. My first question to you isn't how many times you want to be on. My first question to you is, what do you want? And so in order to get to that goal, whether we go through you directly or they come through me, let's get you on air.
Yeah.
And then as a team, let's build the brand.
Yeah.
Let's build the resources. I don't really use the word marketing. And then I know but this is the tough one.
Yeah.
Somebody might want to be a paid. And you could take a break if you want and talk about paid. Yeah. Paid contributorship is a tough gig to get right now. Just right now, because too many Jay Joneses. There's Jay Jones, there's Todd Shapiro, there's Adam Weiss, there's Lois Katz, there's Annie Scranton, and I can go on and on and on. And we all know each other. Yeah. Those are like 10 New York PR top people. I got you. You can rap to.
I got you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I mean, it's funny because I get people ask me all the time, you know, Court TV, does that stuff really get you business? Why? That's a waste of time, Gabe. You should be out, you know, whatever. You don't need that, blah, blah. And I want to know for our audiences, I know the value of PR and media. I understand it now. You know, before, I think lawyers are very, if I'm doing this, I want this. Where's my return on the investment? And I always tell people, I'm like, listen, like public relations and media, you can't quantify that. It's a part of the whole marketing picture. It's not like they're going to see, this lawyer's on TV, I'm going to hire him. It's more like this person was referred to me by a friend of the family. I went to his website. You know, he looks like he's got experience. Checked out his YouTube page. Oh, I see that he's on TV. He must be credible. He must be a thought leader. I am a thought leader. I am those things. But that's what media does. It's this type of marketing, PR and media. It's a part of the whole marketing. It's a holistic approach. You got to look at it as. So let me ask you this: for our audience out there, because we have a lot of lawyers that are listening. What's the value of public relations? What's the value of being on TV and media? Like, what is it? Not just getting clients, but what would you say is the value of it and why it's so important?
First of all, it gives you excitement. You know, I think you got to pump yourself up. You know, you get up in the morning, right? You hit the gym or you do something fantastic. It's one of those things. Also, when I Google attorneys, like when I go to your website sometimes and I see you put up a clip from something you've done, or I've seen you on like a social media and I see a clip on your IG, I go, that to me is exciting because yesterday means you talked about Depp and Amber. So how could you not be excited? Or even when you're doing your podcast like we're doing today and I see a clip, I'm going, you're reaching out to others in a different way because you gotta, marketing, advertise. It's tough. I gotta do it myself. And I always tell people, I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
It's a grind.
You know? I'm updating my bio. Yep. I'm updating my pages. I'm paying for a webmaster.
Get the fresh shirt on.
I'm wearing a fresh shirt. I got shaved. I did my push-ups. I'm drinking my water. I'm bringing my kid. I'm doing my rest. Yeah. I'm doing the same thing because the edge doesn't come on its own. No. The edge comes with hustle. I have to shout out to my girl because her slogan is, good hustle. Oh yeah. But the thing is, despite the 3-pointer, the Steph Curry doesn't come just because. It comes in addition to. The hustle. And that's what that's what I love about you, that you shared the Tony thing. Because I've known you. You've always been successful since I've known you. I mean, anybody who gets a publicist and an agent is, managing their funds in a way that, you could get the sports car, the condo, the business, and the publicist. Yeah,
you can stay in the condo in New York, man. You're gonna watch over it when I'm out there. You're gonna be all right.
But but all that it comes. You got to have the cred, you know.
Yeah.
You know. So that's why I say it's sizzle, because I could say Gabe's available. You don't mind me calling you Gabe, do you?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Bro.
Gabe's available, because I know lawyers like your last name with the initial and the whole scenario.
That's all good.
But he's coming, he's here, he's valid. So there's sizzle there because they know. I'm a keep it us on sizzle because they know you're gonna come. You're gonna demand. Your demand is also part of who you are.
Yeah.
So you're gonna demand audience because you prepped and you know how to deliver.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and we've been successful at AlwaysON because of, not to take anything against, media training or having coaches to help you along the way.
Yeah.
My philosophy is just like my dad did.
Yeah.
You want to learn how to swim? It's
that's true.
It's kind
I
of
know
like
that.
baptism by fire.
Yeah, you threw me in there. I was like, what is this? Yeah. It took me like 10 of them to figure it out. Like, you know what? No one really knows what they're talking about. Just so go in there and talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, if you get strapped,
Yeah.
And then, like, I always tell people, then talk about, then go to the color of the sky. That's why I have a good rapport with you.
Yeah.
Let's say, because you might have gone in, first time not knowing, but we got 10 times after that.
My first time, I was like, man,
So
I
we've
want
been
that
fortunate.
Deleted. Get that, find a copy of it, delete it everywhere.
We've
man.
been fortunate. And if you look at my phone or your phone, the pictures I've sent, you're going to see the beginnings.
Yeah.
And you're going to see these pictures. And I'm telling you, the last photos I've taken you in this office with the blue shields and the lighting and the this and the that. I mean, I've seen you, and we've seen each other grow.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And that's what's so charming about it. I mean, I love, my favorite word is probably charming.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been awesome.
We come through, and that's the bottom line. So that's why I call you A-Rod, because you come
appreciate it.
through.
Thank
And
you,
A-Rod
man.
comes
Hey,
through.
I love hanging out with you, man. You always pump me up. I love it.
And that's part of the
man.
game.
I'm about to fly
But
out tonight. I'm going to fly to New York tonight,
Well,
man.
I'm hoping we hanging out. tonight.
man.
I'm feeling
I've
like
had-
some Thai food.
What I love about you, man, is that we get business done, but we have a good time, man. And that's what it's all about. And it's just cool being able to do business with someone and be friends with someone. So it's been awesome, man. I'm so glad you came on today. But
I'm psyched too. And I know I screwed up. I have to say I'm sorry.
nah, you're good, bro.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I was supposed to be here 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good, man. So let me ask you this. So what is it? What's the most rewarding thing about working with lawyers and putting them on TV? What let me start off with this. What's the most challenging part, man? Getting these lawyers
I
on
was going to
TV?
say the check. No.
The challenging.
You know what it is? Everybody's tough. I got some tough people. You know what I mean? I sleep. I sleep pretty good because I exercise. But I got some tough people. I got some challenging people. Like you and I met in New York. And we was at that bar, Sean something in Rockefeller Center.
Which one?
About 3 or 4. The last time you were in the Big Apple, I think I had to go to a black tie.
Okay.
And we were sitting
You
at
always
the
go to a
bar.
black tie.
I do. I go to a lot of black ties. I'm kind of a black tie.
We've been
black
in so
guy.
many bars together. I don't even know what bar, man.
You had a bunch of records, and we were having a conversation. I think I was having like Irish coffees, and the thing is, the challenge is how I can fulfill your goal.
Yeah.
And I can always tell when I did well because, we'll have a longer conversation. When I don't do well and you're not really that, over the moon, sometimes there's a space gap between that conversation. So the point is, again, back to that Excel sheet, knowing your ROI. I'm down to go hard to hard. That's why I was asking you earlier about the criticism, because sure, we do hit a lot of grand. I mean, we hit a lot of grand slams.
Johnny Depp.
It's
a grand slam.
But just sometimes, sometimes that 95 mile an hour straight to center field gets in the gap.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't like when, your PR center fielder drops the
You know
gap.
what it is, man? It's like, I don't even think it's not even your fault at all. It's more of like, sometimes I got this hit I'm going to do on the Johnny Depp trial, whatever it is. But then they got this other trial going on. Johnny Depp's on a break. And then you got this other trial. And you're sitting there just listening to, not even witness testimony. You're listening to like motion testimony, something boring as hell, even as a lawyer. And then you're sitting there waiting for like 40 minutes. And then they get you on. And you got 5 minutes. And I'm like, man, I waited an hour and a half to talk for like 1 minute. I was like, man, that's the stuff that frustrates me. But it's a part of it. It doesn't happen all the time. But that's not you. That's just a part of the business. Sometimes you got to go with what's hot right now in the court TV stuff. So
my fellow publicists don't hate me when I say this. They're gonna hate me, but that's why I keep my numbers low.
Yeah,
because there's gonna be times when you have great hits, and there's gonna be times when you get canceled or you get bumped. I hate to use the word cancel. I learned this from Barbara Walters. Use postpone.
Yeah.
But people want it straight. They think you pulling their coat when you say postpone.
Yeah.
But you're going to get bumped. It's part of the industry. And that waiting game, that's why I tell people, as much as I try to get you on the court TV, the thing when I try to get you on those network shows like that is really to get you in a routine so that it's kind of a regular. Yeah. And I'm gonna have that conversation tomorrow. So you better be polishing off your
higher right now.
Mock straps and your custom made, and you got your pocket square, and you look great.
Thank you, bro.
You look
lost
great.
35 pounds, man. I was doing too many steak dinners and lobster during the week, man.
Dude. I know. I went to a picnic the other day. All they had was lobster. I always tell them just we're getting off track a little bit, but. People are like, you're like the third person to ask me, how do you lose that weight? And I'm like, I've always worked out. I'm not a lazy person, but the more you go out, the more you're marketing, the more successful you have those bad dinners.
You're getting those dinners. You're going that Japanese wagyu. You're getting the lobster. And like I'm 36 now. I can't operate like that when I was 30. So now you got to just cut it out a little bit. And it just comes off, man. It's the lifestyle.
And it comes on fast. It comes on fast.
Yeah, but thank you. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's been an amazing year, man. It's just years going by so fast.
I know. I was trying to ask you about the numbers today. You were like, I'm not talking about the numbers, man, but I can tell your court has been great.
It's been good, man. We're doing good here.
Was it Tony? I'm always curious to you about Tony.
So, I think the game changer for me. Well, I've always been. God's blessed me with this talent of being this ambitious. I wake up hungry every day. I'm thinking about how I can get better as a person, as a man, as a lawyer. I can't turn it off, man. I'm obsessed with trying to get to the next level. But I think that there's just a part when I was starting off my business, and I think I was like 2 or 3 years in. I was like, you know what? I'm not getting this traction I need. What's going on? I needed some guidance. And I went to I've always been a Tony Robbins fan. Finally, I signed up for it was like Tony Robbins Business Mastery. And I'll tell you what, and some people are like, oh, he's a scam, he's a fraud. I'm like, hey, you call it what it is. For me, that was what I needed.
I'm doing it.
Because when you go to Tony Robbins Business Mastery, and I'm giving him a shot, man, that guy should, hook me up with another course or something.
I know, because I'm doing it.
I'm vouching for his company. Like, for me, like, you're surrounded by business owners from all around the country, around the world, and that are trying to get better. There's guys that are doing, 6 figures, guys doing 7 figures, guys doing 8 figures. There's guys making tons of money there, and you're just around the same people, and they put you in these groups, so you're learning from each other, and you're around this like good energy, and it's awesome, man. You wake up start at 8:30 in the morning. You go into this big old conference room. It was like a big old auditorium in Vegas. I think it was the MGM. And you got club music, you got this whole vibe, the whole lights and everything going on. And it was the most fun I had sober ever. You walk in at 9 a.m. and people are dancing and jumping, and he just gets you so pumped up and you feel so good. Like, he calls it state. You get that charisma going, that energy, man. And then he goes on and teaches you what you need to know. And I think a lot of it, I think the takeaway from the Tony Robbins stuff was it's really as an entrepreneur, you have to have the right mindset. And the business is only going to be as good as the leader. And the leader's got to have just a good mindset, and you got to be right yourself. And I think what I learned is, like, in order for me to take this business to the next level, I got to be at my top performance. I got to be in peak state. And I learned it's this little direction. What happens is I think we get caught up with people giving us advice. Some things that work for someone else aren't going to work for you.
Right.
Take, for example, one of my best friends, Michael Parker, successful personal injury lawyer out there. He's doing great. And he's one of those guys that he can just drum up business. He doesn't do any marketing dollars at all. But he just is able to just get all this business in and word of mouth. And I do the same thing, but he's on a different level with that. And he's like, I don't know why people spend money in marketing, blah, 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 blah. That's all waste of money. That's him. That doesn't mean that's going to work for you. You know, there's some things I do better than him. There's some things that I need a little more leverage on. So I do spend money in marketing. And it's just what I think the takeaway was you can't not be careful who you listen to, because their advice might be good for them, but not for you.
I agree to that 1,000%.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Tony Robbins is really what led me to take my marketing up to the next level. I've always been able to bring in business, but to take more risks and start spinning and trying different things out. And the other thing is delegating. As an entrepreneur, man, I like to have my hands in everything. I was control. I didn't trust people at first. And one of the things I learned from those conferences, you got to delegate. And why do you think these successful guys have a bunch of different businesses? They're not doing everything. It's because they have good teams in place. They pay well. And you got to delegate to elevate. So, and the funny thing is the less control you have, the more money you're going to make.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So
I'm not going to give him another plug, but I'm thinking of doing it.
Tony Robbins is good.
I'm pulling the trigger.
Tony Robbins is the best thing I did. And it led me to different things. It led me to another level in business, and got me to the right different people, different vendors I work with. And it's just awesome. But it's all about your mindset, man. You can do anything. You just got to, just be strategic about it and take calculated risk. You got to take a risk, man.
Calculated risk.
Yeah. But you got guys that are chiropractors. You got guys that are selling gun holsters that they're doing crazy numbers, man. And they're all there to help. Everyone in this entrepreneurial journey, everyone on this journey is here to just better themselves and take care of their team and go to the next level. So I thrive in those things. I got a fitness coach. I got a nutritionist. I got a business coach. I thrive at coaching. And one thing I learned from Tony Robbins is the top people in the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, they got coaches, man. You got to have accountability. You got to have someone managing you a little bit. That's what I thrive in that. Most of the money I make, a lot of my personal income, I pay a lot of money into coaching. And it pays off for me. So someone like my friend Mike Parker, and I love you. I know you're listening, but
Shout out to Mike.
He thinks that he thinks that
everybody does it differently.
I don't need no coaching. You just call me. Blah, blah. But everyone operates differently. And also, one of the things we implemented, we're going off. I know we're going off the deep end a little bit.
I had to because, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah. But one of the game changers we did for the firm this year was the Colby Index. Have you heard of that Colby Index? So Colby.
No, I haven't.
So there's this it's not a personality test. It's like a kind of a psychology assessment called Wonderlic. And the guys in the NFL draft, in the MLB, they do this thing called Wonderlic. And what it is, when a team signs up with a player, when a team, a franchise signs a player, they do this assessment for them. And what it does, it tests not their personality, but how they operate. Are they going to, and it was really to figure out what kind of fit they're going to be in what position. So if you got a guy that's a high risk taker and that likes to just jump in and do it, you want him at a different position than someone, that doesn't have that personality. So this Colby Index we did for our team at the firm, it was game changing. And it really explained to the team why we operate this certain way. And what I learned is that, you need different personalities, not personalities, but you need different. There's some people that are going to approach a task differently from you. What they call me, and the Colby Index is a quick start. I don't need a lot of information to take action. Give me the bare minimum facts, and I'll jump in and do it. I like to innovate, and I work well under pressure.
Right.
But someone else with a different score they're not going to operate like that. They want a lot of information. They want the reasons why we're doing it. They want specific directions, and then they're going to take action. So what I learned Tony Robbins brought me to kind of explore this area of my business is you got to know your team. You got to know your team. How does this person approach this situation? How am I going to approach it? So bottom line is that was a game changer for me for sure. Tony Robbins led me to, Chris, the video marketing company, and the Chris coaching. I love all that stuff, man. But, I think at the end of the day, these companies are there to help you go to the next level.
Okay.
Some people don't need them. I love that. I thrive in it and I invest in it. But yeah, you should check it out.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm an easy one.
And for me, anything that gets you better, and investing in yourself that's going to be paid big dividends.
I've been listening to them since you told me and other people. I got the book. I've been checking them out on YouTube. Man. So I think my next investment is going to be, taking one of these seminars or courses. I hear you want to
refill you on this?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I got you. Johnny Depp. That trial was huge, man. And what I wanted to ask, and I was curious if I grew up with Johnny Depp. I love him as an actor. I loved him in Donnie Brasco. I loved him in the Pirates of the Caribbean. He was even my favorite, Blow. My favorite horror movie, Nightmare on Elm Street. He was
thank you.
He was in he played in Nightmare on Elm Street, like one of the main characters, when he was 18 years old. Why was that trial so big?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, I am, man, because I'm not all up in the Hollywood scene. Like why was it that this Johnny Depp trial? I was gonna tell you, I went on that spot for Long Crime. I walked out and I got all these text messages. I didn't realize the magnitude of this trial. Like, why do you think it was such a big deal?
Because it's a celebrity, first, and second, it was two really cantankerous human beings, Amber and Johnny, and it was a whole vibe. Yeah, like she came in Chanel and poised and pretty, and he came in kind of like tatted and rocked out and fancy suits, cool and ponytail. It was just a whole look, and it was in Virginia as opposed to down the street in BH, in Beverly Hills.
My mom was watching that thing, man. Everyone was watching that thing. I was like, I'm too busy working my own cases.
He was just there, he would take the stand.
I think the best thing that happened with that case was he got his reputation back, man.
He did.
And I think that was important for him, and I think all of us kind of listened to the media and we're starting to think things about him, but it was good for him to get his rep back. And I always tell, I got in a debate with one of my friends last night or a couple nights ago, and she was like, I don't agree with you. I'm like, listen, was he a drunk? Yes, but that doesn't make you a wife beater. Exactly. If you're gonna go home drunk and bang your cabinets, it's your house. You pay the mortgage. That's your shit. Do whatever the fuck you want. Did he? I think she had some serious credibility issues. I don't think he put hands on her like that. So, but being an alcoholic and going in your house and just doing what the hell you want and banging on cabinets and being a wreck doesn't make you a bad guy. It's your house.
And that's the thing. Everyone looked at it like, so what? He's a celeb. So he's stressed and he's banging and he's breaking shit. And he's like, yo. So everybody was like, so what?
Yeah, man, it's your house, man. Do whatever you want.
Because she was the one videotaping and it was like, why are you scamming? Why are you scheming? Like, what's up with your credibility? It was killing her.
Yeah, man. It was killing her. They got the video footage of her in the elevator with Elon and a couple girls. I'm like, man, this girl's just. Yeah, I felt bad for the dude, man.
Yeah. He picked up a sour one.
Yeah. So one of the things my experience with being on the media is there's some hosts that I vibe with more than others. And some people I'm like, man, I walk in the studio, I'm like, fuck, I got this person. I'm not gonna say any names.
No, you shouldn't. Well,
but what's your advice for hey, there's just some hosts I like, man. There's some people that I feel like I got a judge in there that's very I want to talk the law. And I'm like, how does someone that's going on TV approach someone that they don't have a great connection with as far as the host goes? There's some people that aren't, just some people that I don't really want to talk to when I go on TV.
Well, let's not book you with those people.
No, that's all good, but it's
well, there's two things. There's kind of acting, pretending you really like each other, and you know what? The biggest key in that whole thing to break the ice is saying their name. Hey, Gabe. Hey, Jay. Hey, Judge.
Take it easy.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's the thing. Sometimes you forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, like I started out this with, I got 2 stories about you. That was actually a way of saying, I know you.
Yeah.
So you want to break engagement. You want to break the ice so that you get along with everybody.
Yeah, it's true.
And then get it going from there, because there are people, and they may feel the same as well.
They're like, man, I know Gabe's on fire.
You know? So, but listen, that's nature of the beast, right?
Yeah.
You can't love everybody, and everybody won't love you. But, you know, you saying their name is good engagement. Being human about stuff.
Yeah.
Using, you know, examples that can help. Trying to tap in to something they like we talked about the cues, you know? You try to tap into
that
something.
Works a lot.
Or Tony, you know,
Yeah.
you're able to break down the ice, but make sure you circle back to the topic.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a lot of things. That's why baptism by fire is great. A lot of times you might have, various people to help you out, but they're not there. Like, who's going to be there? You know, you got to hit at 1:00, 12:45. You know, no one's there. Jay's not there. You know, so you gotta do that sword fight on your own. So that's why baptisms by fire is great, because the more of these that you do,
good situations to be in sometimes.
because that's the easy part. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Some of those questions are like out of sight.
Sometimes I'm like, man, what did you ask? I think one of the questions I had was about this the Johnny Depp trial, and they're talking about, what the witness was talking about, putting on makeup. I'm like, I don't know anything about putting on makeup. And, I was the only child, and I was, around my dad all the time. I was like, man, I don't know. Why are you asking me this shit? I was like, I think I told her on the media, I'm like, I don't, this ain't the question to ask me.
The bottom line, whatever you did or didn't do, it hadn't discouraged them from inviting you back.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my job. My job is to get you invited back.
Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah, it's been, that whole experience with Johnny Depp, man, that was like a game changer for me, because I was like, wow, I just didn't realize how powerful. I was like, man, that trial was huge.
Huge.
Woo,
Did you do any Parkland stuff?
I did a little bit. I think I talked
good.
about it last year. Yeah, Parkland.
That's busy.
Yeah, and then what other big trials? What other big stuff I commentated on? But no, it's I think it's good for lawyers to get on TV, because it keeps you think on top of your feet too. And when you're a litigator and you're in court, you're arguing motions, you got to be on top of your feet, man. And I think I always tell people, I'm like, get on, if you can get the experience to get on TV and think sharp and think quick, that's what you're going to have to do when you're litigating. So just get on there and do it. And like you said, the audience is like, even if you foul up, they don't know. They're not lawyers. So they're not going to know. They're just
some audiences are, so you got to know your audience.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But also, when somebody does look for you in, a case, and they do see something current and a screenshot, as opposed to the fancy headshot, it gives a little more credence. It gives a little more cred,
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Might make them close the deal sooner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. So let me ask you this, man. So you lived in California, and you're in New York now, and you're a total New Yorker, by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
I see whenever I hang out with you, man, you're always in a rush, and I'm in the car. I'm like, bro, chill. It's all good, man.
I'm always in a rush.
So what do you think, like, as far as this is kind of an off-topic question, but lawyers in the East Coast, lawyers in California, do you see a difference in personalities a little bit?
I do. There's a time zone, real difference with East and West Coast. I find my LA lawyers, my West Coast lawyers, like, they have this thing about the mornings. It's like, do not mess with me in the mornings. Like, do not. I mean, I got a couple. San Francisco, I got a couple of lawyers. They don't mind the mornings, but overall, in general, it's like, no. 6. I even go to the point that they're like, don't even text me.
Yeah.
Like at 8.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
Yeah.
There's that. But I think the thing about the West Coast attorneys versus East Coast, it's just I don't know. I'm finding West Coast attorneys also, depending on the time of year, more more in demand sometimes because you kind of tanned, you're wearing color. Life is kind of grand because the weather seems to be better.
We're working out over here.
Yeah.
And shit. Yeah.
So you catch an East Coast lawyer in like, the back of a, February snowstorm. They're in black. They're pale. They're kind of like, dude, I'm not,
You're wasting my time, man. I'm a New Yorker.
Don't step to me with this. Don't step to me with that.
That's funny, man.
But now, because it's hot and warm and flavorful in the East Coast, now East Coast is in demand. So it kind of goes back and forth.
I'm going 2 weeks. I got it, man. I'm going.
It just goes back and forth.
I'm going in 2 weeks, man. I'm going to see you out there. I'm going to be rooftopping it. Have a good time.
Yeah. Rooftop is hot.
Get me on long time. I'll get on it.
There's a fly new rooftop. Fly.
What's it called?
I don't know what it's called, but it's on West 46th Street between 10th and 11th. It is the place to be.
Man. I love that city, man. I love LA. I'm not backing up. I love it. But there's an energy that I get in New York that it just, man, it hits different over there. You know what I mean, man? All right, what question?
I kind of like the beach myself.
Yeah, it's cool, man. The best is if you can get both worlds. But this is one of the things I've been wanting to ask you too is like, okay, so we got Long Crime, we got Court TV. These are cool networks. As an attorney, as a professional, and a lot of big audience. How does one get to the big leagues? CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Like, what is it that they want?
They just want dependability, And I was watching Chris Cuomo and Bill Maher the other day, and he kept using this term, the toxic twosome. Yeah. And really, I interpret that as meaning they looking for a lean. You gotta, if you're gonna be on, FNC with a lot of eyeballs, you gotta drink the tea they're drinking. Yeah. If you're gonna be across the aisle on another show, you gotta drink the tea they're drinking. And a lot of times, like for instance, they wanted you. Let's say they wanted you for this case today, which is the Alex Jones verdict. Okay. And I called you up, and they're like, we need Gabe. But Gabe's not available for whatever reason. They need that person on their register who is available, drops everything, doesn't go home, and comes right to the set and is ready.
I'm going to get there.
And that's their problem. That's their scenario. That's why I tell them, I love LNC, I love Court TV, but I feel the push to make it to the next level, you got to incorporate, just like they're going to tell me too. They're going to say the same thing. Oh, Jay, you only get me on LNC. Oh, Jay, you only get me on Court. Oh, you only doing Fox. Oh, you only doing this, that, and the other. We need it all. Yeah. We need the 64 crayons in the crayon box. Yeah. So then that producer, because they're little, the producers are different. If producers are different, and I even know that. That's why I was like, hey, did I get a call? But because the tougher the anchor, they have specifics. So instead of saying like, I need an attorney who is, crystal clear, they're going to say, I need crystal clear, Baccarat crystal clear. Yeah. They just really put the details. It's like, they just don't need a analyst. They need a 15-year attorney who worked for Bush.
Yeah. So the more this host is more established, like Chris Cuomo, one of those guys, they're going to be more picky about who they want as their guest. Do they call the shots pretty much about who they want on?
They might. Okay. They might.
And they want this, and this, and
they might. Because they're thinking ratings, they're thinking numbers, they're thinking someone who can answer their questions.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's interesting.
Can't wing it in the big box.
Nah, man. You don't CNN, man. That's the league right there.
You can't wing it in the big box.
That's cool, man. So what do you think the trend is right now and like what networks want and lawyers, like as far as what you've seen, like they're looking for more people, color, more younger look? What do you think the trend is to get lawyers on TV?
They're looking for someone with amazing cred, but doesn't look like they, are antique. They really are. They're looking for a look. It's not the first thing on their plate. Yeah. But they're looking for a look, and they're looking for cred, and they're hoping you're in a big market. The studios now are opening, and so they're looking for that big New York. Yeah. DC.
It's always better being in the studio. I always tell people.
News is East Coast.
Yeah.
News really is. Yeah. DC, New York. I mean, there's a lot out here on the coast, but it's a different flow.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, we're getting the calls. We got a call tonight. We're doing a couple of shows with the daytime side and the big talk shows. We're getting those calls now. So the sizzle goes both ways. I like to. And I was coming over here today, and I've been meeting with, because my next thing is to get into the film industry. Yeah. So we have a conversation that deals with Netflix.
Can you give me? I want the lawyer position in the film. Man.
That's the
give
thing.
Me a lawyer. Give me a little.
That's the next ceiling for me. That's why I asked about Robbins. Because how do I get there?
Oh, man. Sometimes you just gotta do it, man. Just make it. Just
gotta grind.
Just make it happen, man. I always tell people, I'm like, my dreams and my vision. I'm only on this earth so long, man. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get it, and that's it. And if I know that I put it all out there and I did what I had to do, and I faced my fears and just put it all on the line, just do it, man. And what will kill you more is if you don't try.
Oh yeah.
You gotta just break through that wall, and if you don't break through that wall, say, hey, I did everything I could to break through that damn wall. That's what I live by.
That's what I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I agree
man,
with you on
definitely.
That. So
man.
That's what they're looking for: diversity. They're looking for energy. They're looking for passion, and they're just looking for cred. Yeah. And that's why I tell people, work your social media, because the producers, they're parked there.
Oh yeah.
You don't want a guy or girl like me, then work your social media, because they parked on the talk.
Oh yeah.
On IG.
Oh yeah, I see it, man. They look at that stuff.
They're just hanging.
Yeah.
That's why I say, when you do get something, tag, blast, share, tag, blast, share.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. So I mean, I've seen the power. Like at first, I was kind of on this marketing stuff. Like I'm waiting on 1 hour to talk and watching this trial, and I get 1 minute. But now with my experience with the Johnny Depp stuff and some of these bigger trials, I get it. I'm like, hey, you know what? Like this is bigger than what you think it is. And it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing working with you. I think one of the best things I did for my marketing strategy is getting on TV and getting there. And it feels good, man. It feels good to go into New York and hey, I'm in town and hey, Gabe, where's Gabe at? I love that shit. It feels good, man.
So we're waiting for you. Tomorrow morning, I'm having a call.
I'm coming back, man. Tell Law Crime I'm there. Tell him, man. I think. Hey Jay, it's been great having you on. I know you're tired. I know you jet lag. I know you had a long drive from over there to Sacramento. We'll get you on another episode, man. But I think we can wrap it up right here, brother. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond the Bar. If you enjoyed this episode, please share and subscribe to the podcast. For more podcast episodes, please visit sepulvedalawgroup.com/podcast.